Welcome to the Catholic Life Coach Podcast. My name is Carla Fitz. I am a certified life coach, wife, and mom of two beautiful little girls. My hope for this podcast is to offer support and empower other Catholic women to live their most authentic life. To share life coaching tools from a Catholic perspective in order to help you live a more fulfilling life filled with peace, joy, and abundance. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to this episode. I am excited and blessed to be here with you guys. It is a sunny day and loving it. It has been beautiful outside. And I don't know if you guys go through these phases in your life, but I have been through a phase of feeling like I live in Hawaii. And that sounds weird because I don't. I live in Nebraska in the middle of absolutely nowhere and there's no sea at all around me. But yet, my heart feels so lit up that I feel like I'm in Hawaii. I just keep I keep listening to this music and just lifting myself up and wanting to dress up light. And it is getting warm in Nebraska, which I'm so excited for. But we have no ocean close to me. I do have to also share that I'm originally from Venezuela. And for me, I used to have the ocean just 30 to 40 minutes away, which was a beautiful blessing as I was growing up. But that is no longer the case. I still love where I live, but I do miss it. And my heart has been in this phase or in this era of my life where I just feel so uplifted and so joyful and so excited for what's to come and also for what's going on in my life right now that it feels like Hawaii. That's what it feels like to me. It feels very light, airy, breezy, beachy, beautiful. Also, I feel like I should share that I have never been to Hawaii, so it is a little weird, but that's how I feel. Anyhow, does this have a point? Yes, it has a point, and I'm so excited for sharing this with you guys and what has been going on and what I have learned in the past couple of weeks, especially this past week, and share all of that with you guys. It's gonna be fun. This episode is all about how we are seeing our life, how we are perceiving our life, because it has been a work of progress for years to shift my perspective on how I see my life. But as I go into a new identity, as I grow my business, and as I start new things, as I try new things, I am growing. Each one of those new things is causing me to become a new version. And the same thing happens to you when you guys are setting new goals, new dreams, new adventures, new desires. Whatever your heart is desiring, that is something that God has placed in your heart. That is something that I fully, fully believe, and you will hear me say over and over and over again. Because I think for a very long time, I believe that our desires were either selfish or not well guided. And as I have grown up, I have seen how much of my desires come from Him. And they're not all meant to be fulfilled, but they are all meant to be followed. And this is what I mean. Perhaps some of those dreams, some of those desires will not work out, but there is always something or a purpose that God is putting in our hearts that we need to reach. Like, for example, one of my desires just a few years ago was to become a realtor. But I should tell you that before I wanted to become a realtor, my true desire was to work from home and to do something on my own and to have a little more freedom of time. And when I stepped into real estate, what I found out was something about me. It was a step in the right direction. Does that make sense? Like, it was not the final destination, it was just a step in the right direction. And that is how our desires sometimes work. It is a step, taking steps in the right direction. So for me, was a step in the right direction because it was in real estate that I was led to my life coach, my first life coach, and how I was introduced into life coaching. It all had to happen in order for me to get there, right? But if we view our desires as selfish or as not good, We don't follow any of them. And the thing is, like, all good things come from those desires. I had a desire to have a family someday. And that's why I married my husband, because I felt so called to be his wife and to be the mother of his children. That is a desire. That is a good, holy desire. But I think sometimes when we have a desire that has to do with our business, we judge it. We say, oh, well, it's, I want to make, I want to do this thing or grow this thing or make this money, but I don't know that that's good. And what we're doing is judging our desire that has been put there by God. He has a purpose, a bigger purpose than we could ever imagine. Because for me, the desire originally was I want to do something for myself. I want to do something from home, have freedom of time, have freedom of space. And what actually happened is that my work is touching other people's life, just like my coach's work has impacted mine. And I am so thankful for their work. And I am so looking forward to see what your people are going to be touched because of you, how they are going to be touched. It is not our job to know the final destination. It's just our job to enjoy the ride and to say yes to the journey. And that's why I wanted to go today into how our perspectives matter. The truth is that from here until our goal is met, or it's a reality, we are going to have to process some things. We are going to have to overcome some thoughts. We are going to have to feel some emotions. We are going to have to ditch some beliefs that we have about ourselves that are not productive, that are not helping us. And in that journey, we can see our life as failing or as a failure, or we can see it as a success, as winning, as making progress. And that perspective, that lens through which you see your life matters. Because this is a journey, right? No matter where we are headed, no matter the desire, no matter the dream, we are becoming a different person. And God is utilizing this journey to help us grow. But we can either grow through suffering and seeing ourselves and our life as a failure, or seeing our life as it's not working, or I don't have this, or this isn't happening fast enough, or I'm not good enough, or I don't know if this is the right thing. Or we can see our life from the lens of I'm being guided. Things are happening the exact same way they are supposed to happen. I am in the right place. I am cared for. And we can either focus on the negative, on what's not working, or we can choose very on purpose to focus on the gratitude, on the blessings. What's working? How is God showing up for me today? It's very easy to get sidetracked and be focused on what's not working because it's natural for us. Our brains are wired to solve problems. And because we are wired to solve problems, we look for the problem to solve, of course. But it doesn't have to be that way. Because when we are in this side where we are experiencing life through the lens of not working, suffering, struggle, it's hard, we create that result. Whatever we are believing about ourselves, we create in our lives. We see more evidence of that. So if you believe that things are not working, you will only pay attention to the things that are not working. And there will be things that are working, but you will be so focused on the things that are not working that you create the result that your goal doesn't work. Same with like, if you are having the thought of, I am not good enough, you are going to create evidence to convince and to prove your brain correctly that you are not good enough. Whether that is, I don't have this title, or I don't have this certification, or I'm not pretty enough, or I haven't had that opportunity or this opportunity. Our brains are going to always search for proof. And if we want a different result, we need to give it different proof. If we continue to focus on what we don't have or on the negative or believing the unconscious thoughts that we have all day long of not being good enough, of things not working, of not being happy, of why this is terrible, we will find evidence for that and create the result that causes our life to continue to feel terrible. But if, on the other hand, we choose to focus very on purpose, on gratitude, on what is working, our brains go into this place of joy with or without the result. Because here's the thing, you have proof now that you can feel happy, that you can feel gratitude. And sometimes it's as small as having a roof over our heads. This past week, I went through the season. For a few days, I was very stuck on just things are not where I wanted them to be. I wanted to be able to walk around the block in peace. But instead, what I'm experiencing is that when I walk for a certain amount of time, and it's not very long for the record, my nerves get pinched in my legs and it hurts and it's painful and it's frustrating because I worked so hard to lose the weight in order to have a healthier pregnancy, in order to move more. And because of this pain, I'm not able to move as much as I imagined I would. And I was so focused on what wasn't working that I was missing what was. And in that moment when I realized, hold on, I have an option here. I can choose to focus and to be in gratitude. And so I started making a list and thinking of how are things better now than they were 5 years ago after giving birth to my second, being almost 300 pounds. For one, I am a lot lighter. And then on top of that, I have this business that I love, that I get to be home with my girls. And I was loving seeing them outside doing their homework and sitting with them and reading and praying and being able to be in my holy hour. There are so many things that I am so incredibly thankful for. And I love seeing God's hands and goodness in all of this because 5 years ago, I was working full time. I was at a job that required me to walk all day long. And now I'm able to go for walks, but rest because my body needs it. And here's the thing, I was choosing to see my circumstance as a problem, as a disempowering thing. I felt very out of control. I felt very powerless. Like I couldn't move. My brain was convincing itself that I was unhealthy, that I was not moving, that I was not good enough. All of these thoughts that are just simply not true. And that is why we need to remember that we have this authority that God gave us over our thinking. Because we have a choice on whether we want to view our lives from gratitude or from pain. If we want to view our life from the perspective of things that are not working or from the perspective of the things that are. Both of them will cause you to feel in a completely different way. Because this past week was a switch. All of a sudden, I started recognizing the proof. How have I become a new person? How can I handle this pain that I am feeling today in a much more empowered way? And ever since I realized that, it's been like I'm walking more and I'm in pain, you guys. The circumstance did not change. I'm still going for my short walks, loving the view, loving the fresh air, loving the sounds, loving the movement, and suffering the pain. The pain didn't go away, but my perspective of life shifted. And it is incredible how powerful it is to choose where to focus your attention, to choose to believe something different about yourself, to choose to see the blessing in disguise. Your circumstance may not change right away, but you can still enjoy the progress, the process, the journey, because you are not alone. And I always say that you're not alone. God is walking with you. And we have this insane power in our brains to see our life in a new, beautiful perspective. I also want to encourage you to not judge yourself if you are doing this. If you are focused on the negative, do not judge yourselves. This is the only way we are going to learn is by making this mistake. We all go through this. This is very human. This is very normal. But knowing that you have a choice is freeing. So this week, practice recognizing where you are seeing your life from the perspective of negativity rather than blessing. And if you are seeing your life in a negative way, then make a list of the things that are going well. Make a list of things that are proof that things are going just right, that you're taken care of, that you are loved, that you are not alone, that you are enough. What makes you happy about your life today? And utilize that joy to carry you the rest of your journey. This is a practice that we will do daily. And if you guys want support in this, I am here for you always. It's always so much fun to have your coach walking with you and helping you to process thoughts and emotions as you are growing, as you are developing into this new, beautiful version of you. But this week, be kind to your heart, to your mind, to your emotions. Check in. Where am I seeing my life from a negative perspective? And how do I want to see it? How do I rather view this life that God has given me? How do I rather live it from today? Never mind the past, but how are you viewing your life from today onward? It's powerful. And I hope you put it into practice, and I would love to hear from you, see if this helped and how this is going to affect your life. It's so much fun. Anyhow, I'm sending you all so much love. I hope you have a fantastic week. And until next time, God bless. If you are ready to reach your goals with more love, ease, and joy, then this is the perfect time. I will help you overcome the limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck. And I will help you process and embrace all of your emotions and use them to empower you instead of using them against you. It is powerful, and I have opened up just a few spots to join me in a one-on-one coaching setting. This setting is phenomenal. You get so much support, so much encouragement, and I walk with you each step of the way. It's gonna be so much fun. If you are interested to find out more, all you need to do is click the link in the description and sign up for a free consultation. All right, I will see you next week. God bless.